everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video just explaining brokers. I get this question so much from newer traders, and I feel like I just kind of put you out there into YouTube world to figure it out on your own. But I can definitely try and break this down a little bit easier for you. I will do my best with this, but like I just said, there is so much information out there already about brokers and trying to explain to you the regulated versus the unregulated and just what brokers do I personally use. A lot of you ask me that. That's probably one of the top 5 questions I get asked. So I will go through this. The biggest thing I want to explain first off is that your broker that you choose will depend on what country you live in. That is because there's different regulations for every country as far as what they allow for traders. I am based in the US, so our broker situation is a little tough. Our leverage that we get, 1 to 50, which is not that great. For traders who like to use smaller accounts and want to flip accounts, they like to use leverage. So something like 1 to 50 isn't really ideal for somebody who wants to flip like $100 to like a $500 account. That is not something that's going to be very easy for them. However, having really high leverage, like something like you're seeing here on my screen, this 1 to 500 leverage, that would absolutely help for somebody who wants to flip an account. There are obviously pros and cons to both. So as far as what you want to look for as when you're looking for a broker is one, what country are you from? Who is going to allow you to trade with them? And what is regulated in your country and what isn't? So for me, like I said, if you're here in the US, you are kind of restricted. There are a couple of pretty big name regulated brokers like Oanda, Forex.com, and if you're trading anything else outside of the Forex market, you would be following their rules. But I'm talking strictly about Forex right now. Oanda and Forex.com are the 2 biggest ones that are regulated in the US for US citizens, but you are regulated. What I mean by that is basically we're going to Google. We're keeping it super simple for you guys. This is all that it's meaning, and I will explain it a little bit more, but it's basically regulated brokers are those who are registered with the financial regulatory body of their country. So for me, US. For you, wherever you live, whatever that means for you. And who must comply with the rules set by that body. Meaning whatever your country's rules are. That also means that any other rules that the US government may want in place, they have to follow those rules. It essentially is offering you a level of protection. If for some reason that company just had to shut down and they couldn't afford anymore to pay out any of their traders on their platform, you would be protected if it was a regulated company, that your profits would be protected, you would be reimbursed. It's not set up that those companies can just disappear with your money and oh well. You would in some way be reimbursed for your money that was in that regulated broker. An unregulated broker, on the other hand, they do not have to comply with any rules and they can pretty much behave in any manner they see fit. That sounds super dangerous. I know. You're like, whoa, I don't want anything to do with that. That is true. That is absolutely true. However, there are unregulated brokers that are very reputable, and although they may not be regulated here in the United States, they are regulated in other areas of the world that are still pretty strict with what their regulations are. So I personally use something called Hugosway. That is a broker that's pretty popular. And I also use another pretty popular one called KOT Forex. These are 2 unregulated brokers. I'll get into that in a minute as to what they do and all of that. But basically, I'm saying they are unregulated, meaning if they close tomorrow, the money I have in the accounts with them, I have no right in claiming as a U.S. citizen and saying, hey, they took my money. I can't do that. I'm depositing my money with the idea that potentially if these markets crash and burn overnight, I will never see that money again. So when you are choosing to go with an unregulated broker, please make sure that you are not putting your entire life savings into this broker. Be smart about what you're doing. Something that I do a lot with these brokers, because you guys know I trade funded accounts and I trade personal accounts. I like to trade like on the smaller side with my personal accounts. Obviously, smaller account will be different for everybody, but what I mean by that is usually like 1,000 to 2,000 because I trade indices. That is actually like a smaller amount. I will start an account from 1,000, maybe $2,000, and I will build it. I will work on that account. I will work on building it up. Because I have the leverage, this 1 to 500 leverage, to be able to flip these accounts and be a little more aggressive with my personal accounts, I do that with these type of brokers. I also never leave a huge amount in there, more than I'm ever willing to lose. I constantly withdraw once I hit a certain target, and then maybe leave like another couple of thousand in there to be able to trade and build back up again. That is what I would recommend you guys to do. I would not recommend that you take your entire life savings, like I just said, dump it in here and let it sit there forever. That's just being smart and being cautious. When you have winnings, pull your winnings out, leave a baseline in there for you to continue to trade with and keep growing. So you grow the account, you withdraw your profits, keep a little bit in there for you to continue, and then start over again, grow again, withdraw your profits. I personally have never had an issue with Hugosway or KOT Forex having withdrawals. I will quickly just show you withdrawal history with these. I'm not going to show you guys amounts or anything like that. That's my own private business, but I'll just show you guys the date and the fact that they were approved withdrawals. So I have definitely traded with them, opened the accounts, have the live accounts, and I've had withdrawals to show that I've been able to withdraw on these dates. I'll kind of insert clips or something here just to kind of give you an idea. Yes, you can withdraw with them. Since it's unregulated, you do have to deposit and withdraw with Bitcoin. So I actually believe here on KOT Forex, I'll show you guys, they have a really nice way of just showing you how to even do the whole Bitcoin process. Because if you're somebody who's wow, that's way beyond me, they go through what everything is, how to deposit it, how to withdraw and turn your Bitcoin back into money. The easiest way to do this is probably through something like a Cash App, or if you have a crypto wallet already, then you're probably fine to do this. But for people who don't know how to do crypto wallets, you could use something like Cash App. Please YouTube it. Plenty of videos on that, but just go watch the videos that are already out there on YouTube that show you how to deposit and withdraw from a Hugosway or KOT Forex. It looks a little intimidating at first, but I promise you after 1 or 2 times, it's very easy for you to get the hang of. But that is part of the thing with using these two, is that you will have to deposit and withdraw with Bitcoin, but it's very easy to turn that into cash. You literally are doing it as soon as it hits your wallet and you just cash it out. So it's not a big deal. All right, so that's regulated versus unregulated. So you have unregulated, which are the two that I'm using here, and then I do have one regulated one for the US, which is Oanda. And this is the one that I was saying, is pretty basic when it comes to trading. You're only looking at trading the Forex pairs, which you can see here. I like it. They'll show you on their website, the spreads and stuff like that you're going to have. And that's, just pretty basic. If you want to go the safe route, you're just still starting out and learning a little bit, and you just want to kind of get your feet wet. You're not ready to be doing stuff with leverage, Oanda or Forex.com. I don't personally have a Forex.com account, but you guys could definitely look into them. And they are also another very reputable, regulated company in the US. If you are looking to start really small, though, and be able to flip accounts, this is where the unregulated ones will come in. So you can see here, you have a minimum deposit of $10, which is nothing. So I would probably recommend a little bit more than $10 because I don't know how many trades you're going to get unless you have a really amazing win rate. I don't know how many trades you can get with $10. I've never tried it. Maybe someday we'll make a challenge out of it. But for now, I would probably say, maybe look for more a $20 to $50 range for depositing. But still, it's low enough of an amount that you guys can kind of play around, get used to trading in a live market, and understand how it moves without blowing your entire savings that you have. So I like that you can do that here with this. And you really can, if you're doing well, you really can flip these accounts because you have that leverage. Is it safe to be using that kind of leverage? Probably not. Do you really need 500 leverage? No. You do not. I promise you don't. But it's nice to know it's there sometimes if you really want it. Most of the time, 1 to 100 is more than enough for you guys to use, but they offer you 1 to 500. KOT4X also offers pretty much exactly the same when you're looking at what they do. You know, they're starting as, they say 15, although I feel like I've heard that they do 10 as well, but still very low amount to start with. 1 to 500 leverage, and pretty much all the same stuff that they claim on Hugosway. The one thing I do want to point out when it comes to these type of accounts is whether it is a EN broker you are using or a VAR. So you can, I believe with KOT4X, actually choose which type of account you pick. They have different styles you can pick. I have the standard with them, but they are different style accounts you can do. And I'll explain this in a second, but basically a standard is an EC account, a pro is an ENC, and then they have their VAR pairs. Hugosway is an all EN broker. This is something you want to look at. And then some brokers will have e-broker version or a VAR version of that broker. I will explain to you what they are, but it is ultimately up to you guys to decide which account style is best for you. EC, like I said, using Google, super easy terms for you guys to understand. It's a broker basically that communicates with the network for you, and essentially what they're trying to say, they're just the middleman, and they don't really care what your trade does. They don't make money, supposedly, whether it wins or whether it loses. They just are there to place it. What you will see a lot of the times is that the spreads may be a little bit higher, meaning you have to cover a little bit more of the market gap before you'll be in profit, or you may see that there's commissions. For Hugosway and KOT4X, for my style accounts, there are commissions. They're pretty low, they're pretty fair, pretty in line with almost everywhere else as far as brokers go. But that is something you guys want to take into consideration when you're looking at that, and also doing your risk management, whether you have to cover a certain spread or whether you have to cover a commission. A VAR account in comparison is a little bit different, and this is where you can read here what Google says about it. But basically, they try to make, the best way to explain this is they try to make it sound really good, that you'll have tighter spreads and you're not going to have commissions. But you have to remember that when you're trading a VAR account, you're kind of assuming that the broker is trading against you. And that's kind of the best way I can explain it, is the broker makes money then when you don't make money. So although the VAR account sounds really good, oh, you're going to get these really tight spreads and we're not going to charge you any commission, they still need to make money to run. So if they're not charging you commission, how are they making money? And they're making money because when you lose, they win. And it's kind of that game of if it sounds too good to be true, sometimes it is. I'm not saying there's not any good VAR accounts out there. I'm sure somebody will blast me in the comments for this. There are probably plenty of them. But when you are trading with brokers that are unregulated, knowing that they can kind of do their own rules, yes, there's some checks and balances in place, but are they actually regulated where you live? If they're not, would you risk having an account where you know they make money when you do bad? Probably not. I personally just like to go with the C account where I know they're just working as that middleman. I'll pay the little bit of commission here or there to kind of have that peace of mind. Does that mean that they don't still manipulate it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't work for Hugosway or KOT4X. Who knows what they do back there? I'm sure there is always some bit of manipulation with an unregulated broker. That is the risk you're taking if you want those leverages and you want the ability to trade with them. But that doesn't mean that you can't trade with them, that they're scams. I know a lot of you have asked me that. You're scrolling through, and I mean, yes, if you type in goodness, let's just type it in. Hugosway, I'm sure something will come up about a scam. Let's see. But I'm sure there will be something in here that will say reviews. Horrible. Scam broker. So yeah, you're going to see this all the time. 2.5-star review on Trustpilot. This is totally normal, and this you're going to see this with every broker you guys look up. But I definitely want to encourage you guys to please look into your brokers before you go and sign up with them. Make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. We'll do KOT Forex to show you guys, like, you're always going to find these. Anything in Forex world, there's always going to be somebody hating on it or saying it's a scam or giving terrible reviews. Because the reality of it is you're dealing with money. And when you lose money, what do? You blame someone else. It's not you. It's not you who doesn't know how to trade. It's them. But definitely do your research. I recommend that if you're a newer trader, you're looking into brokers, that you try looking into what is called Baby Pips. Baby Pips, if you haven't already learned about this, it's a free website that's really nice. It's beginner friendly for Forex. Breaks things down in very simple terms for you guys. They have lots of stuff on here. I mean, you could like search and get lost in here, and I absolutely recommend that you do that. If you're ever not unsure about things, they have forums where you can like ask questions, which I think is really nice. And you know, obviously, if you are in the community with us in Perfect Entry, please feel free to ask questions too. Like, we'll give you our honest opinion about brokers. I am by no means saying that KOT Forex and Hugosway are the best broker out there. It's just the best option I have as somebody who's living in the US who wants to trade higher. So that is something you guys have to do wherever you're living. Weigh it out and figure out what it is that you want to do. I like these because you can sign up for them. You know, you just fill out your information, make your little accounts, and then you can have demo accounts. You don't have to be stuck with a live account. It's free. You can test them out. Try out both if you want. I'll link them below in the description box for you guys. The KOT Forex and the Hugosway and Oanda. I'll link it all down below. And try them all out. Open up a demo account on all three of them if you want. See which one feels right to you, which one feels like you like it the best. Demo, please. No live accounts yet. Just demo until you find the right one for you. And while you're doing that, like, do your research about them. Really get to know what what people are saying. I know a lot of traders who trade with Hugosway and KOT Forex and have never had issues with payments. I have never, myself, like I said, had an issue with withdrawing or anything. There is a slight delay in the time that it takes for like the blockchain to be processed between the time the crypto is released to the time it hits your wallet. But that has absolutely nothing to do with the broker. If they say they're processing your payment, they will process it for you. So that's all I can really say about this. Oh, and the nice thing about them, if you guys want to go regulated, you can use a debit card to just like put your money on there. And then same thing, you can just withdraw from like your bank account or your debit card. And you can use that directly without having to do that like middleman of Bitcoin. So that could be a benefit for some people. But like I said, guys, this is totally up to you. I wanted to just have you guys kind of understand a little bit more about it. But the biggest thing I really want you guys to understand out of this entire video is the difference between a regulated and unregulated broker. What that means to you and how that benefits you or doesn't benefit you. Also knowing the difference between what is an ECN broker and what is a VAR broker. Why you would want to be on the lookout for those. ECN meaning apparently they don't get any benefit whether you win or lose. They're just there making money off your commission and your spreads. So they don't care whether you win or lose. As long as you place the trade, they made money, so they could care less what happens to your trade. Versus a VAR where they say, hey, we'll give you tighter spreads and maybe no commissions, but just so you know, like, we make money when you lose. So they kind of keep that part quiet. But you guys kind of get the idea. And then lastly, just the differences, like, what do you want to use? If you're here in the US, pretty much the two biggest hard-hitting ones as far as trustworthy unregulated brokers goes is Hugosway and KOT Forex, which, you can just Google them, find their website. I like that, like, they put their stuff up on here. You can see like all the spreads and all that stuff, like, all on their site before you even decide to sign up with them. And like, you can look at them. KOT Forex and Hugosway are pretty much the same. Their speed of their platform, as far as spreads go, as far as customer service, I really can't say one is better or worse than the other. I have not had a big issue with either of them. One time ever, I had to talk to Hugosway customer support about a trade that glitched and it didn't hit my stop loss. They went back, they reevaluated it, and they fixed it for me. So I cannot complain about what happened with that. That was just their market that glitched. They took fault for it. They reimbursed me for that trade, and that was it. So I have nothing bad to say about their customer service. KOT Forex, I have been blessed enough to not have to deal with their customer service either. So I really cannot review like their customer service as far as like a big issue would go. But, I'm sure if you guys have had experiences with them, leave the comments below and let me know. If it's that you just lost and blew your account, I mean, come on, guys. Be fair to them. But if you had a really true horrible customer service experience, please leave it below because it's helpful for people to know about what to be on the lookout for with these companies and or Oanda as well. If you had any experience with them, please leave that below as well. Oanda is just super regulated and tight, very mechanical in their responses and stuff like that. Are also a very good broker. So if you're looking for just basic pairs, that's a good one. KOT, Forex, and Hugosway, if you had noticed when I was scrolling down, they do allow you to trade things like indices and cryptos. And as I'm scrolling through, you can see that. This is the last thing I will touch on because this question is also probably in the top 10 questions I get is how do I live in the US and trade indices? And why am I not in jail? Well, that's because it's not illegal to trade indices here in the US. It's just not regulated. So what that means is that the U.S. government says if you trade indices, we will not protect you or your account. So that means that you are then forced to find yourself an unregulated broker that you trust enough to trade with and then stick with them. So that is why I do trade with Hugosway and KOT Forex because I do primarily trade indices. Because I like to trade those, it's pretty much impossible for me to trade those regulated here in the U.S., the style that I trade, so I have to go unregulated route. But otherwise, that's all I can really say about regulated, unregulated, the ECNs, the VARs, KOT Forex, Hugosway, and Oanda. Oh, and Forex.com. Let's not forget them. They're good too, guys. I just don't use them. So if you have questions, please leave a comment below, or you can message me in the Perfect Entry Discord. I'm happy to help you guys in there as well. This is probably mostly helpful for the US people, but anybody in the world, those are the three things you want to kind of look at. So no matter where you're at, remember to focus on regulated, unregulated, ENC, or a VAR account and what all of that means to you where you live. All right, you guys, I will see you guys in the next video. And if you are interested in any of these brokers, they are linked in the description box below. All right, you guys, have a good day. Bye.